Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Christian Rizzo, and my presentation is entitled Satirical Cartoons Expansion of the Sociological Imagination. Just some introduction and background on the topic. Comedy influences sociological thinking. The way it does this is because it displays different individual and group perspectives in a way that's easy for the audience to comprehend, especially through comedy. It's enjoyable as well as easy. Um, it can be compared to Richard Pryor, the stuff we read about Richard Pryor and how he displayed his struggles as an African American in American society at that time, and how he mocked those perspectives. So satirical cartoons do this in the same way by ridiculing current social issues and events. And my thesis is satirical cartoons actually assist in the growth of an individual's sociological imagination by challenging cultural norms in order to create a more tolerant society. So satire is just a subgenre of comedy. It mocks contemporary events in society that are seen as idiotic. Um, for example, it mocks cultural norms. The cultural norms are set ideals that are understood as what is seen as normal within society. Um, a cultural norm I'm going to show you that gets challenged by one of the cartoons is the role of genders. Men are seen as the providers, while women are just seen as the people trying to find someone to provide for them. So I'll get into more of that later. The sociological imagination is the mental ability to comprehend multiple perspectives within society. This is like the most important part of my paper. The sociological imagination allows a greater understanding as it expands, because the more perspectives you gain, uh, the better understanding you have of another individual's perspective. And when you have the ability to understand other individuals other than yourself, you're able to collaborate with those other people because you understand the situation they're in, and that allows for a better outcome on everyone's standpoint. So everyone can have an equal benefit from whatever situation because everyone understands the same perspective. Um, Going on to the next key term, contested meaning, one word with different meanings, such as see, as in water, or to look, like two different meanings, and derogatory speech. Any verbal cue that is identified as a slur towards a social group, so anything, I'm not going to say anything bad, obviously, but a light social term, a light slur towards a social group could be gay or homo for homosexual people. Uh, so going on, the first cartoon that backs up my thesis is The Simpsons, and The Simpsons is one of the best at displaying contemporary issues and making fun of them. And I have a clip from the episode Lisa versus Malibu Stacy. And in this episode, Lisa, the daughter, who's about 8 years old, is fed up with what her doll is saying, because it's telling that girls her age to conform it to the role of the female gender. I'll give the clip a try for a better understanding.
Let's buy makeup so the boys will like us. Don't you people see anything wrong with what Malibu Stacy said? Oh, there's something wrong with what my Stacy says.
My spidey sense is tingling. Anybody call for a web slinger?
No, Celeste. I mean, the things she says are sexist. Lisa said a dirty word.
So it's pretty obvious that she doesn't want to conform to the ways that society is trying to get her to conform, and the audience watching this can obviously see that gender roles aren't the right thing, or obviously no, gender roles aren't the right thing. That's why they're being mocked in the show. So with Lisa, this young girl, influencing the public of young women to not conform to this role, these people gain a new perspective as to not conform in those roles. Going on, South Park and this is where the contested meaning comes up. The contested meaning of the word in the episode is the word fag. In this episode, the boys, Cartman, Kyle, Kenny, and Stan, the main four characters, they try and drive a group of annoying people out of town by using the derogatory term fag. And the whole town ridicules them for using this term because they think they're trying to get rid of all the gay people in town. But once they sit down and talk with them, they actually realize that they were talking about annoying people in general and not using the word fag as a derogatory term. And the show is doing this. It's reinforcing an already existing view in society because the word fag, the way it's used around me and the way I hear it, is not used to describe gay people, but to describe something that's like stupid or not enjoyable. And the creators do this because they push for the idea of universalism. And the idea of universalism is basically to eliminate all categories within society, basically like race and like ethnicity and like all this invisible stuff, because that stuff actually doesn't exist. It's only there for just to make information, the flow of information, easier and to make things more understandable. So they try and dismantle these categories so that everybody in the world can be seen as a human, not as someone who is white or black or Asian or anything like that. And to back this up, I will play a clip on the defining of the word fag by South Park.
All right, look, you're driving in your car, okay? And you're waiting to make a left at a traffic signal. The light turns yellow, should be your turn to go, but the traffic coming at you just keeps coming. And even when the light turns red, a guy in a BMW runs the red light so you can't make your left turn. What goes through your mind?
Fag.
So as just shown, the boys actually weren't the only ones who thought fag meant what it did. That other person on the jury did. So this goes along with the creators reinforcing this idea of dismantling the old meaning of the word and creating this new one, because it then breaks down the categorizations of gay and straight and all those other categories. So it just leads more towards universalism and the idea that we're all humans and we shouldn't point each other's differences out, but those things should make us individuals and not groups. Going on to my final cartoon of my paper, which is Family Guy, and it is the counter argument because there's a lot of controversy around this cartoon. A lot of people don't even say it's like real satire because like people just think it's just out to get laughs. It's not really to show any social critique, as shown here. As stated in one of the articles I read, in the structure of Family Guy, the use of derogatory speech allows for a social structure where unequal treatment of individuals is permissible. Rick, 2012. The author here is stating that the audience at hand that is watching the show is going to see that using derogatory speech as no big deal at all, because Family Guy is not showing any kind of social critique behind the use of the derogatory speech. It's just throwing out the derogatory speech just for the laughs. But I rebuttal that with an episode entitled Extra Large Medium, where the son of the show, Chris, actually starts falling in love with and dating a girl with Down syndrome. The reason I picked this episode was because mental disabilities such as Down syndrome are often seen by society as taboo and definitely not considered to be a norm. So when the show shows an average or shown to be an understood average person going out with someone who's understood to be a non-average person, such as somebody with Down syndrome, it breaks away from the real life norms. The show does a very good job in doing this. And And finally, my conclusion slide. So, as I stated before, comedy offers new perspectives. The Simpsons offered a new perspective on gender roles. South Park offered a new perspective on the derogatory term fag. And Family Guy offered a new perspective on viewing individuals as a whole, whether it be taboo or not. If you have feelings for somebody, you shouldn't let their physical or how other people view you guys stop you. All these shows are easy and enjoyable to comprehend, which makes it way easier for the perspectives to be learned. The more of these perspectives that are learned, the greater expansion of a sociological imagination the individual will get, whoever is watching. And as long as this sociological imagination continues to expand, a greater understanding will come throughout society. Because once more social groups start understanding each other's perspectives, there can be more collaboration between each other and working towards embetterment of society, but equal outcomes that will work for everyone and not screw someone over. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And finally is my works cited page. All right, guys, that's it.